We're definitely doing that as a boss and CEO. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's the one and only Mimi here. If you're new here, make sure you go ahead, click that red subscribe button to join my squad. So let's get started with this video. Holidays always brings out the worst in people, and I mean the worst in people. I don't know what it is about the holidays and this time where you're supposed to be thankful and being around loved ones and friends and family that make people be monsters and nasty to one another. Like, y'all need a whole attitude check. So let's talk about how this client stole Christmas from me. I want to say this happened like a year or two ago, and I want to say this happened during my Ulta days. You guys know, if you know, you know. If you don't, I can't help you. You have to take any and everybody that walk up into Ulta, regardless if you want to do their hair or not, because at the end of the day, it's a franchise, it's a chain, it's whatever. It's a reputable name, and they really forced you to take anybody, even though they talk to you crazy on Christmas. Yeah. Delilah. Now, me, it was only 2 stylists, and that's including myself and another stylist. We're gonna call her Janice, okay? It was just me and Janice in this salon, and we are slaving like a dog. Sweat rolling down the forehead, everything. We was working it. We was getting this client in, we was getting that client in. I had a whole head full foils. I had a partial foil. I had a root touch up. I had a fashion color. I had a silk press. I had this. She had foils. She had accent highlights. She had full head of color. She had root touch up. She had a haircut. We just had a lot. Like, we were doing a lot. Like, we were really thankful for our break that day. We were very thankful. This was around the holidays. They were setting up the little holiday gift sets and packages and all of that stuff that they want people to buy that you really don't need, and they say, oh, it's a good deal, but really it's not a deal at all. But you know, so they were busy and trying to make sales. We literally had to have a stupid meeting about sales. I'm not a sales associate. I don't know why we had to go, but we had to go, you know. Basically like, oh, pushing the sales, push the sales, make your sales, do this. We have a goal, we didn't even reach the goal, but that's another here or less, right? So me and Janice, we're the only 2 in this salon, and we're working on, we're getting it done, we're doing this, we're doing that. Like, literally, if I did not have Janice with me to take these people, like, I would be falling and struggling, and just people just wouldn't be taken. I'm not gonna stay extra for y'all. I'm not. We're not doing that. We're working on our body. Working on our body this year. Yeah. So this one client, I don't know if she originally wanted to book with me, or she didn't remember my name, or I don't know what was going on, but this client books a haircut, I believe. A haircut, when I do it or when Janice does it, it's literally, it should only be like 15-25 minutes, depending on your hair and your hair type and hair texture. It could be more, it could be less, you know, depending. It's a lot of factors that go in: length, texture, density, all of that. It goes in factor of how long your hair appointment is going to be. Some people can be in and out in 40 minutes. Some people can be in and out in an hour or 2. It really depends on your hair, and like, a lot of people need to understand that, right? So again, I'm setting the scene for you. We're busy, we're booked up, we are back-to-back clients, no real break, no nothing, right? So I checked this lady in. We're gonna call the lady Delilah, right? So I checked Delilah in, you know. I'm just like, hey, like, could I have your name? Are you here to check in? Do you have an appointment? She's like, yes. And I don't think she made this appointment in advance, because when it's around that time, and when I was at Ulta, I would study those books, because they would have the books open where people could just pop in. Like, any little slither of time and space that you have, somebody could book that little tiny spot. They could book that little tiny spot, and it'll say a full head of highlights, and you're back to back. That's one thing I did not like. So I was literally always checking the books and making sure that never happened to me, because I'm not doing it. We're not doing it. I'm not doing it. You can go someone else. I'm not doing that, because it's like, it's a time thing, and it's a boundary thing. You know, let's be realistic here. If I have someone who just got a full head of color, and then I have right after that someone who's getting a full highlight, why would you put another highlight right here in that tiny slither? I don't like to do that. I've done it before, but I don't like to do that because I feel like I need to watch the highlights. I just need to be there to make sure if anything goes wrong, I need to visibly see my client's hair and be attentive to that client, whatever. So she's like, yeah, I'm Delilah, I'm getting a haircut. So I look at the books, and she's actually on Janice's books, and I'm like, okay, she is doing a client right now. She's finishing up a client. When she's ready, she'll go ahead and call you. You can wait over here, or you can go and walk around the store because you know we're having our sale. She said, okay. I go and I let Janice know, like, hey, your client Delilah, she's here. She's like, okay. And I said, yeah, I let her know that you'll be finishing up soon and to have a seat, or she could walk around the store. And she said, okay, thanks. So I like to make sure that I reiterate that to people because they be like, oh, you never told me. I always tell you, like, I always tell people what they need to do, what you know. I'm always telling people, hey, your person's here, your client's here, hey, you know. So people can't be like, oh, she never told me. Oh, nah, we're not doing that. So she was well aware. She made eye contact with her client, and she knew that. Up my client, I'm doing that, having to answer the phones and being receptionist and doing the hair and stop and doing the hair and stop. And I know, next thing I know, it's time for my break. I was very thankful for my break. Like, I was hungry, I was tired, I needed to sit down. So I asked Janice, I said, are you gonna be good, you know, manning the floors while I'm gone? She said, yeah. So as I'm walking to the back to take my break, I see Delilah come over and approach Janice. And I didn't think anything of it. I just went back to the break room to like mind my business because I'm gonna mind the business that pays me. Yeah. So I'm eating, I'm watching TikToks, I'm watching YouTube, I'm doing what I do, and next thing I know, I see Janice. Janice came in the bag. I was just like, why are you back here? She was like, I'm gonna beat her, you know what. She's like, I'm gonna beat her, you know what? She's over here giving me sass. She's over here talking to me crazy. I need to get a manager. I need to get a manager right now. And so I think one of our managers did go out there and like was trying to figure out what was going on. But apparently what happened was, you know, the lady got tired of waiting around, and she was like, my appointment was at this time and you're still not done. And my co-worker Janice, she was like, oh, I'm actually finished now, I just need to print out this ticket, you can go have a seat in my chair. And the lady goes and says, I know I can have a seat in your chair. Who are you talking to? I'm just glad that I wasn't there because like I would be started laughing because like, who are you talking to for real? Like, are you really about to talk to me like that and still expect the service out of me? Like, I let her know from the jump it was a wait. She let her know from the jump it was a wait. I said, you know, you can wait around if you want to wait. No one's forcing you to wait around, but you knew that this was your last resort because who else is doing hair at this time, you know? So the whole, oh, well, she wasn't aware of it. She knew exactly, you know, and they was asking me what I told her and everything like that. Like, you could visibly see that it was a wait, and you could, like, I verbally told you that it was a wait, you know? And she told you. So they're going back and forth, and then she was just like, I'm just gonna go leave. And then Janice is like, okay, that's perfectly fine. Like, are we supposed to beg you to stay? At the end of the day, that's what I always told people, like, at the end of the day, you're not paying me. You're not paying me. When you come to Ulta Beauty Salon, you don't pay me. We do not see that. We don't see any of that. You may tip, and if you tip in cash, we'll see it. But if you tip on the card, we don't see it. We see it, but we get taxed on it. So it's like, do we really see it? You know what I'm saying? So she was just really rude and nasty. And then I was just like, well, don't expect, because I know my manager came over and was like trying to see if I could do her. I was like, don't expect me to do her hair because now it's going to be awkward and you're already having like a weird vibe going on with my coworker. And I'm very big on that because I don't like when people's situations get thrown over at me. I don't like when people's energy comes over and it just like ruins my day. Like, I'm very big on that. Like, I tend to take on people's energy and how they're feeling and all of that. And I just wasn't for it that day, especially because it's like, it's the holidays, I'm a mom, like, I can't be taking that home, like, because you have an attitude because you didn't get your hair cut or she didn't sit you at the time that you booked. Guess what? Like, this is Ulta. I'm sorry, I don't know why people be having a whole bunch of high expectations for an Ulta salon. No. You chose to go to Ulta for a reason, right? For the low cheap price. So it's like, if you see that we're booked and I verbally told you that we're booked back to back, of course there's going to be a little wait. But she always accommodates for that. Like, there's one thing about Janice, she always accommodates that. If the wait is longer than what I've said or something like that, she takes money off. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't have to do that. A lot of our managers didn't like when we did that, but if she felt like, you know, hey, I value your time, like, she's going to take some money off. At the end of the day, it doesn't affect our pockets, it affects Alta's pocket. That's why they didn't want us to do that. They didn't like us doing that. But, you know, we can't have you wait and you booked at a specific time. I understand people have time and things that they got to do at the end of the day, which is why she did that, and which is why she was going to take money off of her service for her waiting, even though it really wasn't my coworker's fault that she was a little bit behind. Because again, how Ulta had us, they had us booked back to back, and we don't see the person's hair until they come in here. So you could book a haircut in a 15-minute slot and they have hair going down their back, and it's like, we're not only just cutting it, we gotta blow dry it out and style it. So of course it's gonna take longer than what it is. But again, you know, so my Janice would always try to accommodate and stuff like that, and wish that's what she was going to do. But then that lady got all snappy and stuff at her, so she was just like, no, we're not going to do it. We're not doing her hair. We're not doing it. Transaction closed. You can cancel the appointment and have a nice day. Happy holidays. Pretty much. Because it's like, I don't understand what people would really be thinking, that just because I'm a service provider and I provide you a service, that you can still talk to me crazy and you can talk out of your neck and you don't think I'm a person like you, and you think you can talk to me like I'm crazy or like I'm a child and I'm gonna still service you. No, we're gonna have a good night, and you're gonna have to either reschedule with a different associate or find another salon that can cater towards you, because we're just not gonna do that. Have a nice day. You know, like, it's perfectly fine to say that. A lot of service providers do not do that, and they just let people talk to them crazy, bash them on the internet. No, you don't have to book, and it's perfectly fine. I hope that you can get the services you need elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially around the holidays, nobody has time for that. I understand people are tense and they have family gatherings they want to look good for. That's why you plan these things in advance. Now that I remember it, she did not book in advance. She booked that same day. That's why Janice was not prepared. That's why she wasn't prepared. And it's like, what what do you expect? It was a last minute appointment. And you want to have attitudes and huff your breath and cause a commotion and look stupid and look crazy. Because it was you making a scene in the store and everybody else was just staring at you. Not a good look. But that was the crazy holiday client horror story. If you guys want to see more client horror stories, go ahead, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment down below, and like this video, and I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Bye.